Bayern have been a formidable side this season. Vincent Kompany seems to have gotten his players to fit into his mold. Yesterday, they dispatched away with Sporting, but that was expected. The real headlines were them beating European champions PSG away from home and the world champions Chelsea. Although they were beaten by Arsenal, they're steamrolling over teams left, right and centre, with Kane at the forefront, having already scored 28 goals in all competitions. This reminded me of Hansi Flick's Bayern, as they're showing traces of that formidable team. So let's go back in time and see how they conquered Europe. In the world of football, success often comes from the most unlikely places. And for Bayern Munich, the 2019-20 UCL campaign was one to remember. Not for Barcelona though, but for Bayern. They finished the campaign steamrolling over every team in their path. The literal definition of an unstoppable force. And it started with a man who was, just months before, a quiet assistant coach. His name, Hansi Flick. The 2019-2020 season began with Bayern Munich in a place they weren't used to, faltering in the Bundesliga, with a club legend, Niko Kovac, at the helm. Bayern were struggling in the league. Kovac was dismissed. Enter Hansi Flick, trusted with steadying the ship. But what happened next? It was nothing short of a footballing machine, grinding everything in its path. Flick wasn't just a caretaker. He was a catalyst. Under his guidance, Bayern became a different beast altogether. His tactical genius, combined with a deep understanding of the players, brought a sense of unity and clarity. Bayern's high-press, fluid attacking style was born, and they became an unstoppable force in Germany. By December, Bayern were climbing back up the table aggressively, and a new era had begun. But it wasn't just in the Bundesliga that Bayern were making waves. In the Champions League group stage, Bayern looked like they were on a mission. With 19 goals scored and just 5 conceded, they sent a message to Europe. The highlight? A 7-2 demolition of Tottenham Hotspur in London in the group stage, and 3-1 in Munich, an annihilation that put the continent on notice. Bayern weren't just in the tournament, they were the team to beat. The knockout rounds were a different beast altogether. In the round of 16, Bayern faced the formidable Chelsea. In the first leg at Stamford Bridge, Bayern obliterated the Blues 3-0. The return leg in Munich was a mere formality, a 4-1 win that showed the world how ruthless this Bayern team had become under Flick's leadership. But the true test would come in the quarter-finals against Barcelona. It was the match that no one could have predicted. On paper, Barcelona still had Messi, Suarez, and an experienced squad. But what unfolded in Lisbon on that unforgettable night would go down in history. Bayern Munich tore apart Barcelona with an 8-2 thrashing, a humiliation that sent shockwaves through the footballing world. Lewandowski, Müller, and even Philippe Coutinho, who was on loan from Barcelona, were the architects of the destruction. The famous meme, "You ate to see it," gave Barca fans tremors. It was a performance for the ages, a complete dismantling of one of the most successful clubs in history. Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich were now the clear favourites, and the world was beginning to take notice. But Flick wasn't done. His side was hungry for more. In the semi-finals, Bayern brushed Lyon aside, and now just one match remained between them and glory. The 2020 UEFA Champions League final in Lisbon against Paris Saint-Germain. It was a clash of titans between two of the most talented teams in Europe, with superstars like Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, and of course, Robert Lewandowski. The match was a cagey affair. PSG pushed, Bayern pressed, but in the 59th minute, it was Kingsley Coman, one of Flick's key men, who was brought into the starting lineup as a tactical switch, struck the decisive blow, heading in a beautiful cross from Joshua Kimmich. 1-0. Bayern Munich had done it. Hansi Flick, in less than a year, had taken the Bavarians to the pinnacle of European football. It was a triumph of tactics, passion, and unity. Hansi Flick had transformed Bayern Munich from a team in turmoil into the best in Europe. His ability to adapt, His leadership and his understanding of his players brought them the ultimate prize, the Champions League. It was a triumph that proved football isn't just about the stars, the money, or the big names. It's about a team, united by a shared purpose, led by a man who knew how to bring out their very best. Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich, a team for the ages. The lockdown break was a major catalyst to their success. Flick's coaching staff left personal training programs for the players. Most of them went from lanky or normal body builds to jacked and athletic. Meeting the physical requirements for his heavy metal football, the style involved a high press, constant attacking in a fashion that communicated the idea that they'd outscore any team that posed a threat to them, and any team whose attack didn't have what it took, well, most of them had a similar fate to Barcelona. A grinding machine that moved with an unstoppable force. What a team. What of your opinion? Where do you think the 2019-20 Bayern team ranks among the greatest teams of all time? Comment down below, like and follow or subscribe for more content like this.